Welcome again, everyone, to Elevating Your Life. And I am thrilled to share with you an amazing young woman who's joining us from the beautiful island of Maui. We have with us
Mhm.
today Marla Mervis-Hartmann. She is the creator of Love Your Body, Love Yourself. And she helps women access their yes to that question. After experiencing years of dysfunction in relation to food, exercise, and body confidence, Marla transformed her life through the radical act of self-compassion and friending herself. She has since used her experiences to help empower women as they choose appreciation for their bodies, honor themselves through nourishing lifestyle choices, and cultivate confidence along the way. Maria works at Ai Pono, an eating disorder recovery center, sharing Body-Love Reiki Circles, and was known as the leading body image expert and Reiki Master at Journey Malibu, a drug and alcohol rehabilitation center. How awesome. Most recently, she has been featured at TEDx Salinas. Her mission is to inspire women to feel good about themselves as they pursue the lives they desire. And she lives in the beautiful island of Maui with her husband and son, where she works full time as a professional coach, speaker, facilitator, and living light Reiki master and instructor. And her new book, Befriend Yourself, is being released October this year. So exciting to have you with us, Marla. Thank you.
I'm so glad to be with another Reiki sister.
Yes,
I just love everything that you do. I can really see and feel the Reiki come through,
I
and that's
love
how
it.
I feel too. Like
We are
everything I do,
so
I want to
energy
make it.
sisters. Yes.
Yes, we are. So we're just everyone, so you know when you're listening or you're watching, you're going to be full of Reiki because we are transmitting that light.
I love it. And one of my favorite things to do in Maui is to stand in the ocean and just send Reiki into the ocean to all the marine life. It's so fun.
Beautiful,
It's so
beautiful.
fun. Well,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit, and if you want to start with telling us what got you into the beautiful modality of Reiki. I know I love it. I've done it 25 years. Share that, and then I'd love to have you share, the what you do for everyone, the emotional eating healing and those types of things.
Yeah, so I always knew I was going to use my hands. I was healing my mom's headaches at a very young age, and so I was on this search to find a way to use my hands in some way. And interestingly enough, in my journey to heal my own relationship with my body and food, I was really struggling with a lot of negative body image and a lot of crazy eating habits. Like, I did everything from restricting to overeating to binging to over exercising, you name it. And it was in a support group that I was in, and a woman was giving herself Reiki, and I was so drawn to what she was doing. Um, and she took me to my first Reiki circle, and then I just fell in love. And what ended up happening is that Reiki became very much a part of my recovery. It was like Reiki supported me to learn to love myself more. It supported me to connect to myself and to be able to listen to my body and what my body wanted and to face these fears of rejection and all the things, all the trauma and all the pain that kind of came along with a lot of disordered eating and negative body image and diet culture, right? So I say that Reiki is like my gateway drug to spirituality and healing modalities. From that point, I just went on a deep dive of healing myself and healing my food traumas, that I just learned so many different things, breath work and meditation and yoga and blah blah blah, blah all these things. And then it kind of, one day I was actually pregnant. I was on the island of Kauai, and it hit me. I'm like, oh, I'm well. And this is what I'm supposed to do with my life. I am supposed to support other people to find freedom with their food and to love themselves, right? And to get to that deeper core of not just fixing the food so that we lose weight, but the deep underlying experience of why we use food, why we use dieting, why we use negative body image to deal with life and to cope. So, I'm still on the journey of healing. I'm still, every day is another opportunity to learn to love myself more and to listen to my body. And so now I help everyone else. And now I wrote a book about it. And it's
I
like, it's one of
love
those
it.
miracles. It's like, I can't believe I came from that. And I'm actually helping people with this. So it's been quite a journey,
That
Paula.
is so awesome. And you're helping so many people. Oh my gosh, that is so wonderful. Because it really is something, isn't it? How having a negative body image of ourselves or feeling, that can affect us. Having a positive and, I love the healing with emotion, healing emotional eating, changing your
Mm.
outlook of the food you put in your body, just right there, that can make a huge change, can't it?
Yeah, it really can. And the issue is, Paula, is that it's negative body image and then the way that we use food, whether it's restricting or dieting or fear of food or whatever the story is, the emotional eating, it's so normalized. It's so normalized that people are walking around feeling not as good as they could. And they think because they don't have this full-blown eating disorder that they're not supposed to get any help around it. And a lot of my experience is really educating people to realize that the way that they're feeling about themselves and the obsession they have around food or whatever their story is very much impacting their life. It impacts our relationships. It impacts the way we move through life, how we magnetize life. It impacts our intimacy, the critic in our brain that's telling us that we're not good enough, that can really hinder the the pleasure and the love of life.
Yes, yes. Would you say that having self-compassion is an important thing? Loving ourselves,
That
self-compassion.
is the Self-compassion is really the name of the game. And self-compassion is something that just changes the whole experience, right? So, but people think that self-compassion means that then they're just letting themselves off the hook, right? If I have compassion for the fact that I just ate, 4 donuts, and I have compassion for that, that means I'm going to go ahead and allow myself to eat another 5 or whatever the story is. But that's not the truth. The truth is self-compassion meets us wherever we are, right? So when the shame comes in and the shame is present, oh, I don't like what I look like. Oh, I don't like how I just ate this food. And that shame just like, right? And then we get that shame and we put it on us. And then we want to make decisions from this place of shame. And that is never a good idea. Ever, 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 no matter what it is, right? So, yes, we can feel that shame. That is a normal feeling, but to stay there and to allow us to stay in the shame to make decisions. So, I'm in this shame point, and now I'm like, oh, now I'm going to diet. Now I'm going to restrict. Now I'm going to go into, this plan, right, of punishment because I did it wrong, because I don't look right, right? And that's where compassion can come in. And I always say that using curiosity can kind of open up that door for compassion. It's like, oh, wow, why did I eat that much? Why am I emotionally eating? Oh, I'm feeling so much love for myself that I'm still here, right? Like I've had those moments where I'm like, I thought I healed that. Why the heck is that back? Right? And then you get angry at yourself, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like an imposter. I'm sharing this and it's back. And it's like, oh no, oh no, oh goodness. I feel for myself, right? And from that place of compassion, and that's where Reiki can come in, right? That higher vibration of love, that higher vibration of love can allow us then to move from that place to maybe another step that we want to take, maybe an aligned action that is uh, more loving and actually going to help.
Yes, I love it. I love it. So what would you say are some specific practices that someone could do starting today to help them love themselves more? What would you suggest?
Oh my gosh, what a big question
I
you gave me there.
know.
Okay, well, I mean, really, I truly 100% believe that if we change the way we talk to ourselves, we will change our lives. So really focusing on what you're saying to yourself on a regular basis. And people will just casually say, "Oh, I'm so mean to myself. I'm so critical." And I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa. We're not like that's not just, oh yeah, me too." No. It is not okay. We have enough stress in our lives. We have enough stress from outside influences. You know, the feeling of we can feel like we're out of control, that life is out of control, right? And so here we are in this inner turmoil now, speaking mean to ourselves, and that creates more stress.
Mhm.
Self-criticism creates stress. It ignites the cortisol that gets the adrenals flowing in that stress hormone. And now we are not set up to love ourselves, right? So it's not, and I'm not saying that you can turn that off. I think it's something we have to be on all the time. Wow. I just said that to myself. Holy man. And I catch myself, it's not like I was realizing that I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired. Oh my gosh, how am I going to do my day? And then my mind goes off and off. I'm like, oh no, no, we're not going to start the day with doom and gloom about how we're feeling. Let's be like, oh, okay, here we are feeling the way we're feeling, right? So it's beginning to notice, okay, every time I look in the mirror, I have that voice. Oh, every time I, am out with a certain amount of these certain friends, I start getting really critical and judging myself or others, right? So those are the things we need to look at. But that it doesn't stop right there. It's not like we say, okay, I need to shut that voice up. So if we were to take it a little deeper, and that's what I do, is take it deeper, is that who is that voice? And what is that voice afraid of? What is that voice, that self-critical voice? What is that voice wanting to protect us from?
Mhm.
What is it wanting to keep us safe from? Oh, right. It's like for me, I had the critical voice that told me that I wasn't thin enough, that I couldn't control my food, and I would just beat myself up with it. It was the way that I felt in control, and it was the way that I kept myself on a specific diet. Because if I allowed myself pleasure, if I allowed myself to accept myself, then I was afraid I was off to the races with all the bad behaviors I was doing. But that's not the case, right? There's another way. Is that helpful? Does that
Yes,
answer that
yes,
question?
yes. What was it like for you to experience making that change and letting go of the negativity and the dysfunction from food? What was that? Was that like uh, just a freedom? I mean, was it just a day to day and just seeing a change in your life? What was it like?
Oh, well, there weren't any Marlas around then, right? There's a lot more women, a lot more people out there who are teaching freedom with food and, positive body image and all of that. So I really had to put together a plan for myself. I had a lot of, and I got a lot of support, right? I was in a support group and I did some therapy and I found the Reiki and I really dove into the healing, and it took a quite a long time. I don't think it would need to take that long, but some of these behaviors are so deeply rooted that we can't just flick this switch. It's cyclical. Healing is cyclical, right? So what I noticed is like, okay, I wouldn't go for, an hour without like thinking about food and be obsessing about food. So I would really allow myself to use the muscle of how good can I allow myself to feel, right? Today we're not going to worry about our body. Today we're going to, today we're going to feel okay. Or sometimes it was like, for this hour, I'm going to not lament about my body. For this time that I'm with friends out to dinner, I'm not going to obsess about food. So it becomes a muscle, and then longer we have longer and longer time where we're feeling better and better, right? So I work with people who are binging and they want it to just go away like that. And there's a lot of intelligence to why someone is binging. So some of these behaviors, they don't go away until they're really satiated with love, where the body and the being and the soul feels like it's safe to move away from those coping mechanisms. And then we all do have coping mechanisms. So sometimes they come back when we're in high stress. That's where the compassion comes. And then we get right back into that space where we can let go of those coping mechanisms. So for me, it was a long journey, Paula. I'm not lying to you there, right? And I and and it was really about trusting. It was about gaining trust within myself, gaining trust within God, that I felt supported and loved, and that I was going to be okay in the body that I am in. And so, and I still feel like I'm still learning and growing, right? I have to eat food every
Every
day.
day. Yeah. Oh, oh,
Yeah.
you are amazing, Marla. You are amazing. Well, I would love to know what inspired you to write your new book, Befriend Yourself. Tell us
Yeah.
about that and what we
Yeah.
can
Oh,
expect when we order that book, what we're
yes.
gonna have in our hands.
Oh, good. I would love everyone to go ahead and order that and get on that journey with me. Um, so it's called Befriend Yourself, Finding Freedom with Food and Peace with Your Body. And the reason I called it Befriend Yourself is when I really went into this deeper, like, what is my story? What is the theme of how I healed? And I realized that over the years, I've learned to become my own best friend. I have learned how to be, not just to right? To be with myself, to listen, to care for myself as if I were my own best friend. I'm not mean to myself. If I am, I catch it, right? Um, so it is my journey, my story of healing my relationship with my body and food, and the stories of many of my clients and the people that I've helped along the way. And so you get kind of an inside out journey to what it looks like to heal. And so really my intention is to take people along on my experience as the coach and as the part of me that was still in the pain of it all, and share the story of how we can become our own best friend to heal our relationship with our body and our relationship with our food.
I love it. I love it. Oh, so uh, that take us through a few of the steps that befriend yourself. What we're going to learn reading that.
Well, you're definitely going to learn that. I'm just thinking of a story about one of my past clients who she really wanted me to give her a meal plan. Just tell me what to eat, Marla. Like she just like, And then I just remember her like being like, she was so mad at her. She wanted me to be mad at her for eating French fries,
Oh,
right? She was just like, I ate them and I shouldn't have eaten them. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, did you like them? Right? And, it was this, it blew her mind that she was coming to someone, and she was a woman who had a lot of weight on her, right? And here I was not pulling out the whip and whipping her and going, no, why did you do that? No, what are you gonna do now that you ate the French fries? So we got to get you on a plan now. No, it's like this book is not about that. No, this book is about making healthy choices for ourselves, right? So there's times where it's like, this is the thing, Paula, like I'm teaching through story here, right? And it's like, I'm not going to, if I, if I'm feeling really uncomfortable and in anxiety with myself, and I go to a party and there's a lot of dessert there, and I'm in this anxious state, it's not a good idea for me to go over and be eating that, because I'm not depending, I'm not in the rightful state to be able to have a piece of cake. So I teach how to like really attune to like what would be the most loving thing to do around food today. So sometimes it's like getting a big ass piece of cake and sitting and eating that with some milk and really enjoying it. And sometimes it's like, no, it's not a loving action right now. So it's really it's not about this free for all, eat whatever you want. It's about the attuning to what is the most loving thing that we can do for ourselves. So those are some of the things that I share, and actually how to do that and how to go about that, and how to heal so that our relationships. I talk a lot about my relationship with my husband and friends and things that I've learned, and so those are some of that's just what popped into my head when you had asked that question, to give you a
so
little
in a
inside
way,
scoop of.
I'm thinking that, okay, when I look at what I'm going to have for dinner tonight, I'm going to think, what food can I put in my body, loving my body? I want to give my body some love. What am I going to have for dinner tonight? I'm going to think about that.
Right, yes. But what also often happens when people put that on, just to speak this, is now they think they're not allowed to have anything, which people will want to do. They'll put it in the bad category. It's good if it's completely healthy, and it's bad if it's not. And we want to, food is neutral. It's what the belief that we put on it. So
Mhm.
there have been times where I'm like, okay, I make this really nice meal and I'm looking at it, and there's this part of me that's kind of craving something. I'm like, this is too healthy. I need something, because there's a part of us with food that craves, that wants the pleasure of it. So that's loving ourselves too, right?
Like treat ourselves.
Yes,
Yeah. Yes, I love it.
yes.
So it's okay to treat ourselves, as well. Love our body, but part of loving us is I'm going to give myself a treat, one of my favorite things, and that's okay.
Yeah,
Would you say?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, pleasure is really important. We don't want to take what we're doing in this journey, and what we want to do in our lives is to create the capacity for more love and more pleasure. And that's what I always say about Reiki, Paula, is that it opens up our capacity to allow more love. So,
Mhm.
people can stuck, and they want love, but they don't have they can't hold it, right? And so in this journey of healing the relationship with the body, the food, we're opening up the capacity to have more pleasure and to have more love.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. We have about 3 minutes left, Marla. Please share any links or information you want to share, and any last message you want to give to us today. You're so fantastic.
Yeah, well, I just want to share with everyone that that you're not alone in this. This is such an epidemic. that so many people are struggling with their bodies and with their food. And it's so normalized, like I said at the beginning, that it's like it feels that there can feel like so much shame in it. So I just really want to take that out. And I just want to be that safe place for you to land and to come to. So what I love is for people to ask me questions. So you can go onto my website, loveyourbodyloveyourself.com. You can go in and to the contact form and ask me a question or share what you're feeling, or find me on my Instagram, which is Love Your Body, Love Yourself Always, and message me there. Ask me, like, this is what I'm feeling. This is what's going on. My book is loveyourbodyloveyourself.com/book. If you go to that, you'll see where you can put your order number in, and then I'll send you some free gifts, access to my free workshop that's coming out. Oh, and one more thing that I want to share that is, I think would really serve people. I have a free course called Breaking the Cycle of Emotional Eating. And it's free, but I do not hold back. I really give a lot of good information that's really going to kickstart you in the right way. And there's ways to for us to connect deeper within that course as well.
Oh, I love it. And that's an upcoming course that they would sign up for.
This course is it's free. It's on my website. You can join anytime.
Oh, how fantastic. So many wonderful things. Oh my goodness. It is just a pleasure. I've enjoyed this so much. And, thank you for all of this you're doing for others. And it's really, this is really a great message. This is really great information for so many of us. And I am really grateful for that, Marla.
Thank you so much, Paula. And thank you all to our listening or watching. I'm so glad to connect with you all, sending everyone so much love.
Oh, I feel it. I feel it. Thank you. And the Befriend Yourself is coming out October 2024. And
Yes.
we can get it on Amazon and learn about you on your website. This has been so fantastic. Well, Marla, it's been a pleasure, and I look forward to maybe even chatting with you again down the road. You have
Yes, let's do that and seeing each other
fantastic.
here on Maui for
Yeah,
sure.
we're gonna do it. Everyone out there, thank you for joining us today. Love, hugs, and blessings. Marla, love, hugs, and blessings.